So pretty. So let me show you this board. So I go to get wood products because, and I'm not doing a commercial for them, but I do like what they have in shiplap, and that they kiln dry some of the rough cut, so I don't have to wait for it to dry. But the shiplap that they cut on a circle mill. If you can look here, you can see the circle blade marks in this rough sawn. So when this floor is all laid down, because we're going to walk on it and build on this thing, I'm not going to sand it till we're all done. But you can see that this has character of old lumber, old antique lumber, because that's how they originally milled wood. And then you can see on this side, we have a plain finish side. We're putting the plain finish side down because we want this to have an attractive rustic look. So we're going to put the rough sawn side up. I really like this board, so I'm going to shift this guy out. And I'm playing with the boards right now because the door side of the wagon is the back side. So you'll come up a few steps, you'll go through a Dutch door with a nice little stained glass, and then you're going to look into the wagon, and you're going to see this beautiful facade, kind of ornate. I'm not sure, I might do something with twig, I might do something with carving, but you want to have the boards in that track, the best boards you have. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to pick the right boards. I like these two. So I put a center line because also the door is going to be center. So when you come in the center, you have these boards going from the center out. And if we have to cut anything, we'll cut it to the sides. So I'm going to get my screw gun and I'm going to screw this board down. Let's see. I'll cut the edges off after. I'll sink them down a little bit so you're not stubbing your toes on them. But we don't want to drive them right through the board either, because you get a deep well around your screw and then you get stuff laying in there and it's really hard to clean out. All right. I picked the straightest, nicest boards for the start and the center. And see there, I mark center and I mark both ends. I put on the line, and there's our line right to the side of this board. So. You know, the idea with all of this stuff is to get the child in your back, because, you know, we're all about heart. That's how we started all this. We're all about heart and the heart path, which is art, the person that sleeps in this, it's about waking up the child inside them. When you wake up the child inside somebody, you've woken up their spirit. So that's important, I believe, and gives people a sense of joy and makes them happy. You know, we've all heard the fairy tales. We've heard the fairy tales and we've seen the gypsy Vardo wagons, Pinocchio. The, not supposed to say gypsy. The Romany are the real bohemian people of music and art. And you know, eventually I'm going to make another one of these on a trailer that can be pulled behind, but for right now I just want to make some of these kind of classy little bedrooms, and it's a practice piece. And you know, my bus was actually inspiring this, or this idea. All right, so that one's got a little bow to it. So we're going to take this one out because we want to be really nice and tight in the middle. And oh. Found this other piece was my second choice. Moving it. There we go. Look at that. Yeah. Probably wonder why I don't cut this. I'll cut this off after, and I will be cutting along this beam, but that beam is not going to be exposed. That beam is going to be hidden behind our vertical siding that goes in the step end of the entry end of the wagon. I'm going to leave one screw there and pull this down tight. And I left some extending past here so I can and if you have work boots, guys that have worked around on job sites, I've been around a lot. My father was a contractor, and you don't walk on the lumber because your work boots, some work boots like my Red Wings, leave black scuff marks. So real carpenters wear those yellow gum-soled ones because they don't leave the marks like the I'm going to see if we got another board there. So the siding and the all the siding and the floor are done with shiplap. I was thinking about doing shiplap for the roof over the curved rafters, but chose not to because I like the look of just rough sawn pine. There's a nice little tone of this little bronzy stuff here, this tan. I like that because it gives it's not just white wood. If I had my way, I'd age this stuff and let it gray and brown. And but if I work up here, I won't work up there with these boots on. These are loggers, and they have a black sole, and they will leave marks. My father was really years and years of growing up roofing, old school, where when the roofers used to put on 20 squares by themselves with their hands. They would go, bam, and they'd carry it, and they'd whip these things like this. They'd just tap, boom, tap, boom, tap, boom. I grew up doing that. My father was one of the fastest roofers you ever saw. He put on some pile of shingles. And I don't miss that. That's kind of one of the roughest jobs you could ever have. is being on the roof in the summer. Beautiful boards. These are 16 footers and they're straight as an arrow. That one was a little small, but that's all right. We don't want to put that screw in too tight right there. Actually, I should take that out because notice how my lap has to go underneath this if I hit that too tight. So people, we do what we do. We do what we love. That's the idea of the heart path. The heart path is about doing what you love. Money comes second. We all need it, but and you know, you got my drill it's broken inside. It doesn't hang on to the bit. Oh, now it just went in. You want to use shiplap mostly because this is our inside wall and our outside wall. It's our interior wall. We're going to paint, solid stain the inside on the smooth side and put the rough sawn side up. And we're going to let that age a little bit, gray and brown, and then maybe down the road put something on it. But right now, just going to let it age gracefully, like me. And thought I had it. So you can see this floor is going to be really pretty. So this will have a few outlets, a couple lights. Is that driving you guys driving you guys crazy? It's driving me nuts. So we start from the center and work our way out from both sides, and then we know that we have the same. As you come up the door, through the doorway, you're looking down some straight lines. All of this stuff, the bus is the, you know, when you were a kid, you built a tree house. You made a place that was kind of cool. You got old boards, you nailed them up. That was the best way to build because you built from the heart. You had no skills at all. You didn't know what you were doing. You grabbed whatever you had, and it wasn't safe, but they were right from the heart. So basically, we're doing the same thing, but we do have a few skills we've accumulated along the way. So we're gonna put them to use too. But the idea is that your heart is what's driving this. The heart is inspiring this moment to create this vessel, and the mind or the head is only working from the navigation of the heart. And that's the beauty of it. And you see this thing out in a pasture. And, you know, Vardo's, shepherd Vardos, when they were out with the sheep out the pasture, they'd have like a little Vardo like this that the shepherd would stay in. The shepherd that was watching the sheep. And the horse-drawn ones are really beautiful. There's a beautiful horse called the Gypsy Vanner. Gorgeous horse. And they would pull these Vardos. It was magical. You know, one day I'm not going to rule out the team of horses. It's just that when I had a horse Dixie, and I would rather walk with her than ride her. You know, she was a beautiful spirit. Don't have her anymore because the girl that sold her to me said she missed her so much, so I sold her back to her, and then she sold her to somebody else, which I was really sad about. Or basically, I can screw this off later. So, also, we put our 3x8 carrier beams underneath, right to the chassis axles. Then we put 2x6 rough sawn across. What's that word? Perpendicular. So there are our joists. They were notched an inch out to lock onto those 3 carrier beams to keep them from tipping. And the carrier beams are carriage bolted to some steel uprights that come off the frame, off the axles. So what we got going on right now is a solid foundation for what we're building. And the other thing was we wanted to be able to ride over the tires with this floor. So you can see when we get over to the side, we got a few inches of clearance over the tires. I think the last place I can get a screw right here, because this is a short one, is right here. And then this. Some things in this wagon are going to be natural and some things are going to be painted. So we want to be colorful, because color makes you happy. All right, people, you got an idea what we're doing here. We're going to get this floor down. I'm going to get this laid out and then start on the sidewalls. So come on back and see how it goes. You know, check us out. This thing's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to get it done. So we're motivated. Take care.